Welcome to Unity of Mesa's online and in-person service. What a joy and what a gift to be able to be both online and in person. If you're joining us online, whenever you are, whether it's in this real time or whatever is real time for you, remember we're always in the right place at the right time, and that time is always now because it's the only moment that we have. So thank you for your presence. It makes a difference. It makes a difference in your life, and it makes a difference in our lives. We are here to empower, to energize, to uplift, to expand our consciousness, to enlighten our own selves, so that as we move through the world, we are truly being the light of the world. We're being that resonance of love wherever we go, and we don't even have to speak it when we're living it. When we're truly embodying love, we just be it as we move through the world. So what a joy to be part of the powerful transformation that is happening in the universe right now, simply by the very essence of your beingness. This is Steve Tregelone. He's going to do the guiding statement. Reverend Mindy is going to share the message with you. We have Jennifer Sheets and Jennifer Crandall. Jennifer Sheets will be our vocalist, and Jennifer Crandall is doing our music. Are you open and are you willing to have a great time? Yes. What a joy to be in a group of people who are celebrating life.
I tell you what, there's a lot of people here too.
There are.
Which
There are a lot of people.
Really good. Look, see a lot of faces. Firstly, thank you for being here. Good morning to you all. And thank you for not only the people here, but the people online also. And thank you for sharing your light and your love with us today. Please know that your soul is welcome here. I want you to share with me the guiding statement to remind us of why we meet together, and repeat with me. We are here to experience
more of the fullness of who we truly are in order to transform the world. All are welcome here. I'm going to invite you to stand as you are able, to really feel your feet on the floor and sing from your heart.
is our youth and family ministry representative of the day, and she's going to share the affirmation that our children are working with today.
Good morning. I have our affirmation today, which will be, I live in harmony with all of life.
And would you like us to say it with you?
All right, everyone say it with me.
I live in harmony with all of life.
Let's do it one more time.
Yeah. I live in harmony with all of life.
All right, thank you.
All right, now, Valerie, hang on. We have a new tradition, and that is that the privilege of saying the affirmation comes with the privilege of working the chime. So you can take your finger around and do it manually, or there's a button. Which do you choose? The button. You just push it. Yep, there we go. So as you go on with the children to your program, to all of you, together we say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. Have fun.
I'm called to be a healer for all humanity. I am called to be a dreamer, believe in what can be. I am called to be a maker, be an instrument of peace. I am called to be a giver, of abundance I receive. I am called to be a prayer, singing out the truth I see. I am called to be everything. I am called to be the glory here on earth so all can see. All the love and all the beauty that shines in you and me. You are the living, breathing God, and you are one in me. We are called to be. You are called to be a mother, to nurture family. You are called to be a brother, be strength in times of need. You are called to be a neighbor, see a friend in all you meet. You are called to be a leader, to build community. You are called to be a prayer, living out the truth you see. You are called to be everything. You are called to be. Called to be the glory here on earth so all might see. All the love and all the beauty that shines in you and me. You are the living, breathing God, and you are one in me. You are called to be. We are called to be the kindness to the broken-hearted free. We are called to be forgiveness when pain has run too deep. We are called to be compassion, be the wind beneath each wing. We are called to we're called to be peace, called to be joy, called to be love, called to be free, called to be peace, called to be love, called to be joy, called to be peace, called to be joy, called to be love, called to be, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. When I was in my 40s, some people would have called it a midlife crisis, but it was actually a convergence of all the crises that I had ever had. And part of it was because of songs like that. I wanted to know what my holy purpose was. So I had this huge crisis because I couldn't figure out what my holy crisis, yeah, well, there's something. I couldn't figure out what my holy purpose was. But I was also having the crisis of facing that my kids were aging out of the house, and whatever was I going to do? I was having the beginning of that discontent in my primary relationship. I'd had a stalking experience, which was over, but the trauma was still there. So I had all of these crises converging at the same time, and I was blaming it on the call because I was called to be, but just what was it that was I was called to be? So I did what any good person in their 40s would do, or as I would like to say, any unity person. I started buying books. I bought lots of books. The bookstore manager finally said, "Are you reading these?" And I said, "No." But I was buying them because they were going to help me. And then I started taking workshop after workshop after workshop after workshop. And then I recognized, those workshops, they weren't working. So I decided not to go to any more workshops. But then I found myself one Sunday afternoon in a workshop being facilitated by Alan Cohen, because I had gone to my Unity community that morning, and he got up and he was so wise and so witty and so compassionate and so courageous and so inspirational that I said, to him, "You are the embodiment of everything that I have ever wanted to be. So I am going to come to your workshop this afternoon, and I am going to discover the secret of how to be who you are." All right, you know how that goes. I went to the workshop, and after the workshop was over, I waited patiently in line because there he was. He had this huge table of books, and it was an array of books. The man has written a lot of books. So he had them all out, and I patiently waited my turn, and I was trying to decide, should I buy one or should I buy several? And I got up to him and I said, "All I want you to do is tell me which book to buy that will help me discover my holy purpose." And he asked me a few questions. And so I was like, "Look, one of my classmates has been on the cover of Time magazine now for the second time. I have another classmate who just got nominated for a Tony Award on Broadway. And I have another classmate who's done this." And I was like, yada, 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 yada. And just tell me what to do. And then I looked at him. I gave him the eye. Because really what I wanted to do was take his shoulders and shake him. "Give me the answer. Just give me the answer. Give me the answer. Give me the answer right now." But I just looked at him, and he very thoughtfully looked back at me. And then he said something that I still to this day cannot imagine any workshop presenter ever saying. He said, "You don't need to buy any of my books. You will know your holy purpose one step at a time." And I was astounded, because what kind of author says, "Don't buy my books"? Don't buy my books. It was so profound, the experience, the statement, you will know your holy purpose, one statement at a time. It didn't take me very long to recognize what a tremendous gift had been handed to me. I wasn't broken. There wasn't anything wrong with me. I wasn't missing the genetic makeup to have a meaningful experience, to make a positive difference in the world. In fact, I wasn't even missing the genius gene. It was like I had it all the time. And I did. But I was too busy working on fixing myself up or preparing for something epic instead of living my life. Now, I could have bought one book. Yeah, I had it all the time by Alan Cohen. Because on the back it says, quit fixing yourself and get on with the life you came to live. There are 30 master keys. There are 27 exercises, but I can almost guarantee you that I would not have read it at that time. Nor can I admit, I do admit, I own it. I did not have the self-discipline to plod through those exercises. So look, it's a whole new day. You're in a whole new place. I'm in a whole new place. And in 318 pages, you too can begin to live your life in a whole new way. Not to invalidate, not to discredit, not to discard any experience that has ever come before, because those one steps at a time have brought us to where we are today. So anyway, I highly recommend it. And even if you don't want to join the book study that the Unity of Mesa is going to go start on July 18th, think about this. Think about the book. Think about the message. You will know your holy purpose. You will live your holy purpose one step at a time. In reading through the book, it was like, yeah, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that, all one step at a time. But there's a prayer in here that I absolutely love. It's called the Destiny Smoke Out Prayer. He's got quite a sense of humor. But it's great for, I've used one very similar to it, and it's great for any time that you're facing a decision or that you find yourself challenged or you're wondering whether or not I want to continue in this relationship, even if it's just, talking to somebody at a grocery store. I want to know if I should continue going to that grocery store. I want to be surrounded by friendly, fun, loving, uplifting people who empower, enlighten, and energize. I want all that. So here's the prayer. Okay, God, I have no idea how this is supposed to turn out. I am not sure if or how I'm to develop this interaction with this person. See how it's really good for conflict resolution? I ask for the manifestation of the highest results for everyone involved. I do not dictate how it is supposed to look. I seek only a quality of blessing. I am willing to have it turn out any way that will truly serve. Let the highest destiny be manifested now. Smoke out the truth. Smoke out. Allow to emerge. This releases any control that we want to have over an outcome. It creates an intention for the highest and best. It envelops us and the entire situation in an essence of blessing and gratitude. And most of all, it invites the truth to emerge. Now, Alan Cohen goes on to say the truth is our best friend. The truth doesn't hurt us, and it doesn't hurt anyone. The only thing truth hurts is an illusion. Whoa. Because I have felt hurt sometimes when people say, I got to tell you. And it's like, oh God, here it comes. It's the illusion that is hurt. He invites us to imagine, if we will, that Archangel Michael with his sword standing ready to slay the dragon. Metaphorically, that sword is the sword of truth, and the dragon represents fear and illusion. When we bring truth, we dispel the darkness. And we are all light workers. Every one of us is a light worker. It's in our holy purpose. It's in us to bring light to the situation, to bring light to our world, to bring light to the vibratory happenings, the resonance that's going on in the planet. It's up to us. We do this in unity community. We do it individually and we do it collectively. That's why we pray together. That's why we meditate together. That's why we think about things and then wait for that urge to action to emerge from within us. One of the things that I really appreciate about Alan Cohen and his writings and his teachings is that they sync or they dovetail so well with what unity teaches and what New Thought teaches. The founder of religious science, which is now, it's another New Thought movement, just like Unity, which is now called Centers for Spiritual Living, or Science of Mind. The founder, Ernest Holmes, said this, and if you can put the slide, Donna, all limitations are self-imposed. So anytime we think we can't, it's because we have imposed some thought or some belief on what we're feeling emerged. Oh, yeah, I feel the call to do that, but I can't because I'm too young. Oh, I feel the call to do this, but I can't because I'm too old. You know, limitations come in all shapes and sizes. So whatever it is that we're feeling, if there are any limitations on it, they are limitations that we have put on ourselves. So that's the good news, and that's the other good news. So the good news is, if we were the ones who put our limitations there, then we are the ones who can take the limitations away. And that sounds very easy. It might be very easy. And sometimes it actually is very easy. And that's the good news. But the other good news looks like this. Those limitations have been like seeds, and they've grown like weeds, and they've put roots down in our consciousness. In Unity Metaphysics, we believe our conscious mind is a compilation or the sum total of all our thoughts, habits, and beliefs. So when we have a consciousness that is filled with limitations, we are actually covering up or preventing our better, higher thoughts from growing into what we call the kingdom of heaven. So our consciousness is a state of mind that's either heaven or it's hell. Now, a teacher of Alan Cohen's said the way we live in our consciousness, he says, we all walk in an atmosphere of our own believing. Oh yeah, see, I told you it was the other good news. If there are limitations there, we are walking in an atmosphere of our own believing. Now, in Unity, we work consciously through prayer, meditation. We use affirmations and denials to plant seeds of thought that are expanding, that are enlightening, that are energizing, that are empowering, that are all those wonderful, supportive, expressive ways of being that we can be. Or we can have that experience because of a state of consciousness of hell. Now, Alan Cohen goes back, he takes a look at the word hell, and he says, you know, it's not even a blasphemous term. It's not even a religious term. The word hell comes from the language of real estate. I don't know if you knew that. It was news to me, but I fact-checked it. Just saying. I fact-checked it. Hell is a term that was used in Old English, and it meant to fence in or pen in. So if you had a cow and you wanted to have the cow in captivity, you would hell it. And if the cow was in there, it was being held. H-E-L-D. Gives us something to think about when we think about our limitations. Are we being held by our limitations? And to go back, the good news is that if we impose those limitations on ourselves, then we can release those limitations ourselves. Yes? Yes. So Unity's foundational teachings all center around healing and prosperity. The teachings that Unity puts out, that we talk about on Sunday, during the week, that we just live and breathe and work to support ourselves in being the best, highest and best people we can be, are the healing of our spiritual self, our emotional self, our physical self, our mental self, and to be the best and highest in the prosperity of our spiritual self, our physical self, our emotional self, our mental self. So, as I said before, these teachings of Unity are very much in sync with the teachings that Alan Cohen has brought to the world for years and years. When I went to go find a picture of the book to have that little logo up on the upper right of the screen, this book is in a number of different languages. So not only is it supporting people who speak English, it's supporting people all around the world. So I mentioned that there were master keys. Alan Cohen has 5 master keys for manifestation, because manifesting our health, manifesting our prosperity, any kind of transformation work that allows us to be our true self, to exercise our full life, is what we're all about at Unity of Mesa. So step number 1 is, do you believe your heart's desire? Do you believe it exists? Now, I used to ask people, do you believe, let's say your heart's desire was to go up in outer space. I used to say, do you believe that you and your friends and family could go on a trip to outer space? And everybody would say, no. Except last year, on the 52nd anniversary of the Apollo landing on the moon, Jeff Bezos went up with his brother and 2 other people into space and came back. So now the question has to be, do you believe that it exists for people to go to another galaxy? Right? But there are things that exist that we don't think exist. It's like beyond our imagination. There was a man who cut his thumb off with his power saw accidentally, and the thumb grew back. There was a woman who went to Padre Pio and experienced what she called a miracle. Her sight was restored, but she had no cornea. There are lots of examples of things that have existed, experience that exists, that are beyond our imagination on page 232 in the book. And then Alan Cohen says, if we do not believe, it's not because we cannot, it's because we have allowed our potential to lay fallow through ignorance and disuse. All we have to do is imagine that it can happen. And once we imagine that our healing, that our prosperity, that our call to be, that our life can be amazing, that we can be everything that we want to be, as soon as we imagine it exists, it exists. I believe it exists. Type it in the chat or say it with me in the room. I believe it exists. Okay, key number 2 is, do you believe you deserve it? Yeah, well, many people have problems with deservability. I deserve that. I believe I deserve like this much or that much, or I believe I deserve this thing, but I have to trade it off for that thing. A lot of us really do struggle with deservability. Do we believe that we deserve the entirety of the kingdom of heaven? Or do we believe we just deserve a little teeny tiny part of it? It's a powerful question. It's a powerful question. Do we deserve to be wealthy? Do we deserve to be happy? Do we deserve to be healthy? Do we deserve to have relationships that work? Do we believe that we deserve to have a car that works? Do we believe that we deserve to have air conditioning in Arizona in the summer? I certainly believe I deserve it. I haven't got my first electric bill yet, though, but I still deserve it. I deserve it. Type it in the chat or say with me, please. I deserve it. Okay. Number 3, are you willing to ask for it? We think we're willing to ask for it, and we do ask for a lot. And maybe you were one of those people growing up for you asked for too much. But we have to be willing to ask for it. From when I was really little, I wanted to go to Stanford University. I knew that people got a Stanford education. My aunt had had a Stanford education. I knew that, well, I'm sure I deserved it. Our deservability is really tied into our willingness to ask for it. But what I couldn't do when all was said and done, I mean, I had the grades, I had the recommendations, I had everything lined up so that I could apply to Stanford. But I couldn't find it in myself to ask for that application. Now, I went to the University of Southern California. I was very happy there. But my whole life I had wanted to go to Stanford. Mahatma Gandhi says, you have to be willing to ask in order to get it. Stevie Wonder says you have to ASK in order to GET. Deepak Chopra says, believe the diagnosis, but don't believe the prognosis. And I think that it's like, do you believe that you have more than 6 months? Do you believe you deserve to live more than 6 months? And are you willing to ask for the support so that you can live longer than 6 months? I'm willing to ask for it. Type it in the chat. Say it with me in the room if you want. I am willing to ask for it. It being your heart's desire. Number 4 is, are you willing to work for it? I want to learn how to speak Spanish. Yes! I believe that people can learn how to speak Spanish at the age of my age, which is 63. I believe that people can learn. I believe that I deserve to learn something that interests me. I'm willing to ask for it. I researched 3 separate schools here in Mesa, and here's what I've decided, that I am going to wait until I get my residency so that I can go to community college. So I've been willing to do the initial work, and I'm willing to wait to do the work that it will take so that I can learn how to speak Spanish. I've even got a coach lined up right here in the first row. John Groves said he would coach me. April 1st will be 1 year. All right. Are you willing to work for it? I am willing to work for it. Type it in the chat or say it in the room. I am willing to work for it. And then number 5, the last key is, are you willing to receive it? Most of us are really prolific givers and very reluctant receivers. But the law is It's not a linear law. It's a circular law. It's a law that's happening all parts of it are happening all the time. We can't receive without giving. We can't give without receiving. It's like if you have a closed fist, you can't receive your good. Oh, that's so hard. Are you willing to receive it? I grew up in an Asian culture. I grew up in Honolulu, and it's very Asian there. And I was taught that you have to, before you can say yes, you have to say no 2 times. So I moved to the mainland, and we'd go to these potluck parties, and the hostess would say, "Do you want to take leftovers home?" And I would say, "No, thank you." Other people would go home with leftovers. And I could not figure out why I was like, they never asked me again. Don't they know how to play the game? So whatever game you learn how to play, it may not be serving your highest and best today. So when I get invited to a party, and someday it's going to happen here in Mesa, I'm going to say yes the first time. Because when we operate with the open hands, we're participating in that law of giving and receiving all the time. We're having an energetic exchange with the universe, and the universe loves balance. The universe is waiting for us to open our hand and receive our good, because the universe is like, please, I'm not going to ask you again. Okay, I'll ask you again. And I'll ask you again. And the universe says, I will ask you as many times as it takes until you open your hand to the good, to the amazing good that is right there, that you believe exists, that you know that you deserve it, that you've asked for it and you've worked for it. Open your hands. Seriously, open your hands. Open your hands and say, I am willing to receive it. I am willing to receive it. And if you're watching online, type it in the comments or the chats. I am willing to receive my good. And then take a breath. For that's also a way of participating in the great law of circulation. Breath in, breath out. Dream in, dream out. Desire in, desire out. Manifestation in, manifestation out. Let's take all of this into a time of meditation. I invite you to be comfortable, to close your eyes if you'd like, to find a focal point if you keep your eyes open. But come into that physical experience that will support an inward journey. A journey to your heart, to your mind, a journey inward to your soul. For your soul knows exactly why you're here. Your soul knows exactly the truth of your being. It is time for you to bloom and bloom again, to express the fullness of who and what you are created to be. With open hands, open mind, open heart. We know that nothing is impossible. Impossible just means we have to ask a few more times. irreversible just means that we let go of any idea we've had of being driven or a need to earn our desire. We simply let it be. We nurture it with our attention, with our actions, with our interactions. And we let it grow beyond any fact, any teaching, any way of being that we have ever known. Today is a new day, and we bring light to all the corners of darkness. We bring light to those who are hurting. We bring light to understanding. We bring light to new ways of being for ourselves and for others, so that our wit and our wisdom and our compassion and our courage serves as an inspiration for everyone around us. This is our time to shine. We open ourselves up to this idea, this thought, this new belief, this release of limitation in the holy and sacred silence. Breathing in, breathing out. We follow our dream. We follow our heart's desire. And we emerge back up into the light. We bring our attention back into our body with great gratitude for the function of our cells and our blood and every part of our being. We give thanks for this space that we are coming back up into the light. We give thanks for our commitment to live 100% in a consciousness of heaven. For it truly is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom of heaven. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen, amen, and amen.
I'm going to invite us to take another deep breath in and embody that beautiful meditation we just experienced. That is ours. That is yours. We are abundantly blessed here at Unity in Mesa. And as we live the Christ, the presence that we are, the source, without limitation, as we just learned, we are able to support and give from source. And to that which we want to see thrive. Like, I'd like to have more of this kind of service, would you? And you can help by providing your time, talent, and treasures. And there's many ways to do that here. So just very quickly, if you're in the building, we have red buckets at all the exits. So your pennies, your change, your cash, your checks, you can drop it in there. And if you just have plastic, we have a great bookstore in the back that would gladly help you with that. If you're online, please use our mobile app. Go to the Give Plus app on our website. Vanco mobile app is out there. And oh yes, we can do it totally electronically as well. So as you give, sitting in gratitude, from gratitude, that's just one of the highest vibrations there is, because it puts us right next to love, and love is the highest. So dropping into that love space in the center of your chest, say with me our offering blessing.
Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
You heard the giving and the receiving, right?
Right.
So we are so grateful for all the gifts, but especially the givers. Thank you, God.
I can see it clear. It's getting close. I'm almost there. It's indescribable. It's my time to shine. It's my time. We all have dreams. We all have goals. The laughter and tears, that's what we're living for. It's my time to shine. It's my time. Keep on walking your own path. Never let anyone hold you back. When you feel like giving in, you get right up and try again and again. Be who you are, and you will go far. There's a place for everyone to be a star. It's my time to shine. It's my time. Keep on walking your own path. Never let anyone hold you back. When you feel like giving in, you get right up and try again and again. It's my time. Oh, it's my time. Yes, it is. It's my time. Oh, it's my time. I can see it clear. It's getting close. I'm almost there. It's indescribable. It's my time to shine. It's my time. Keep on walking your own path. Never let anyone hold you back. When you feel like giving in, you get right up and try again and again. It's my time, my time. It's my time, my time.
I think you were the embodiment of that song. You just embodied it. You embodied it. All right. I talked about the book study. I had it all the time. The first 25 people who sign up get the book as a gift. So that should incentivize you just a teeny tiny bit. Nancy Spence, who is here every single Sunday because she's our Sunday coordinator, she's in the back. So she's the facilitator of that group. And oh my gosh, I just want to say thank you before I actually fully launch into announcements. Thank you so much for the online viewers. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for adding your presence to Unity of Mesa. Your presence and makes a difference.